Today, we are going to dive into a topic that quietly controls the quality of our life: negative thinking. Every single one of us, at some point, has felt the heavy weight of doubt, fear, or self-criticism. These silent whispers in our mind often try to convince us that we are not capable, not worthy, or not enough. But let me tell you, those voices are not the truth. They are simply habits of thought that we have allowed to repeat again and again. And the good news is, habits can be broken. Negative thinking acts like a shadow. The more attention you give it, the bigger it grows. It steals your joy, blinds your vision, and weakens your confidence. But life is too precious to be wasted on thoughts that drag you down. You have the power to take control, to reprogram your mind, and to replace those harmful patterns with powerful, uplifting ones. It's not about denying challenges. It's about choosing a perspective that allows you to rise above them. In this video, we'll walk through 12 powerful ways to kill negative thinking. Each step will open a door to a healthier, brighter mindset that will not only change how you see yourself, but also how you experience the world. Get ready, because the journey to a stronger, more positive mind begins right here. Point 1. Become aware of your inner dialogue. The very first step to killing negative thinking is awareness. Think about it. Most of the time, negative thoughts sneak into our minds without us even realizing it. They creep in silently, telling us things like, "You're not good enough," or "You'll fail anyway, so why try?" When these words repeat over and over, they begin to shape how we see ourselves and how we act. The problem is, we often accept these thoughts as facts, when in reality, they are nothing more than opinions created by fear or past experiences. That's why awareness is so powerful. When you start paying attention to what's going on inside your head, you gain the ability to challenge it. Imagine this. You're preparing for an exam, a job interview, or even a simple presentation, and a voice in your mind says, "You're going to mess up." Before, you might have believed it and let the fear control you. But with awareness, you can pause and ask yourself, is this really true, or is it just my anxiety talking? That little pause creates space, and in that space lies your power. You begin to see that your thoughts are not commands, they are just thoughts, and you get to choose whether to believe them or let them go. Awareness is like switching on a light in a dark room. Once the light is on, you can see where the clutter is, and you can start cleaning it up. Similarly, when you become conscious of your inner dialogue, you can identify the negative patterns that are poisoning your mind. Maybe you often tell yourself you're unlucky, or that you'll never succeed. Catch those thoughts. Write them down in a journal if you can. When you see them in black and white, they lose some of their power, because now they are out in the open, no longer hiding in the shadows of your mind. It's important to remember that awareness doesn't mean fighting your thoughts or pushing them away. In fact, when you try too hard to resist, they often come back stronger. Instead, awareness means observing them calmly, almost like watching clouds pass by in the sky. You notice them, acknowledge them, and remind yourself, this is just a thought, not my reality. By practicing this, you gradually train your mind not to be controlled by negativity. You can make awareness a daily habit. Start by checking in with yourself several times a day. Ask, what am I thinking right now? Are these thoughts lifting me up or pulling me down? This small practice can shift your entire outlook. The more you do it, the easier it becomes to catch negativity before it takes over. And the sooner you catch it, the quicker you can replace it with something empowering. Think of it this way. Your mind is like a garden. If you don't notice the weeds growing, they'll spread everywhere and choke the flowers. But once you notice them, you can pull them out before they take control. Awareness is the tool that allows you to see the weeds for what they are. From there, you can start planting seeds of positivity, gratitude, and self-belief. So, the first and most important step in killing negative thinking is to become aware of your inner dialogue. Listen carefully to what you tell yourself. Question the validity of those thoughts, and take back control. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the one who has the power to direct them. Awareness is the foundation on which every other step is built. Point 2. Challenge and replace negative thoughts. Once you become aware of your inner dialogue, the next step is to challenge those negative thoughts and replace them with empowering ones. Awareness shines the light, but challenging and replacing gives you the tools to clean the room. Think of it like this. If awareness is noticing a weed in your garden, challenging and replacing is the act of pulling it out and planting a flower in its place. Most negative thoughts sound convincing because they often use the voice of fear, past mistakes, or other people's criticisms. For example, you might hear yourself thinking, "I'll never be successful," or "I'm not smart enough." If you leave those thoughts unchallenged, they become beliefs, and beliefs shape your actions. But here's the secret. You don't have to accept them as true. The moment a negative thought appears, you can question it. Ask yourself, is this a fact or just an assumption? Where's the evidence? Have I always failed, or are there times I succeeded? When you start asking questions, the thought begins to crumble, because most negative beliefs have no solid foundation. Let's take an example. Suppose you're about to start a new project, and your mind says, "You'll fail." Instead of believing it, challenge it. Wait, why do I think this? Have I failed every time before? Haven't I succeeded in the past when I put in effort? By confronting the thought, you weaken its grip. Then comes the next step. Replace it with something positive and believable like, "I may face challenges, but I have the ability to learn and grow." Notice that you're not just blindly telling yourself, "I'll be perfect." Instead, you're replacing negativity with a realistic, empowering perspective that motivates you to take action. This process of challenging and replacing takes practice. At first, negative thoughts may feel stronger because they've been in your mind for years. But every time you challenge one, you are building a new mental habit. Over time, your brain begins to automatically look for solutions instead of problems, possibilities instead of limitations. Here's a powerful technique you can use. Whenever a negative thought appears, imagine it as a courtroom trial. The thought is the defendant, and you are the judge. You ask for evidence. If the thought cannot provide real proof, you dismiss it. Then you bring in a positive replacement thought, like a witness who reminds you of your strengths, achievements, and potential. By treating your thoughts this way, you prevent them from running wild in your mind. Another simple but effective method is affirmations. These are positive statements that you intentionally repeat to rewire your brain. For example, instead of allowing "I can't do this" to dominate, you repeat, "I am capable of learning, growing, and succeeding." Over time, affirmations create new pathways in your brain that make positivity your default setting. Challenging and replacing is like mental exercise. The more you do it, the stronger you become. At first, it may feel like lifting heavy weights. You'll struggle and maybe doubt yourself. But with consistency, your mental muscles grow, and soon you'll find that negative thoughts lose their power much faster. So remember this: negative thoughts are not destiny. They are just habits of the mind. Challenge them bravely, replace them with empowering truths, and watch how your confidence and energy begin to rise. This step will turn you from a passive victim of your thoughts into the master of your mindset. Point 3. Surround yourself with positive influences. No matter how strong your willpower is, if you constantly live in an environment filled with negativity, it will slowly eat away at your mindset. That's why one of the most powerful ways to kill negative thinking is to carefully choose who and what you surround yourself with. Think of your mind like a sponge. It soaks up whatever it is exposed to. If you are always around people who complain, criticize, or drag others down, you will eventually start absorbing that energy even without noticing. But if you surround yourself with people who lift you up, inspire you, and encourage growth, your own thinking becomes brighter and more positive. Take a moment to reflect on the people in your life. Do they bring out the best in you, or do they constantly remind you of your flaws? Do they push you to chase your dreams, or do they try to hold you back with their doubts? This doesn't mean you must cut everyone out, but it does mean you should set healthy boundaries. Spend more time with those who encourage you, and limit time with those who feed your negative thoughts. Sometimes, protecting your peace is the best decision you can make. Positive influence doesn't come only from people. It also comes from what you consume daily. Think about the movies you watch, the music you listen to, the books you read, and the content you scroll through online. If most of it is filled with drama, fear, or toxicity, your mind will reflect that. But if you fill your environment with motivational books, inspiring podcasts, uplifting music, and educational videos, you'll notice a huge difference in how you think and feel. What you feed your mind is just as important as what you feed your body. Here's something to remember. Your environment shapes your thoughts more than you realize. If you want to rise above negativity, build an environment that supports your growth. Join groups or communities where positivity and progress are celebrated. Follow people on social media who share wisdom and encouragement instead of hate and criticism. And whenever possible, spend time in nature. It has a natural way of calming the mind and cleansing negative energy. Surrounding yourself with positivity doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing influences that help you focus on solutions instead of problems, opportunities instead of obstacles, hope instead of fear. By doing this, you create a mental shield against negativity. So ask yourself today, who and what am I allowing into my mental space? If the answer is full of negativity, make a change. Protect your environment, because it is the soil where your thoughts grow. Surround yourself with positive influences, and watch your negative thinking slowly lose its power. Point 4. Practice gratitude daily. One of the fastest and most effective ways to kill negative thinking is to practice gratitude. Why? Because gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing or wrong in your life to what's already good and working. Negative thoughts usually come from a place of lack. I don't have enough money. I'm not successful yet. Why is my life so hard? These thoughts grow stronger when we only pay attention to problems. But gratitude breaks that cycle by reminding you of the blessings you already carry. Think about it. Even on your worst days, there are still things to be grateful for. The breath in your lungs, the roof over your head, the food on your table, the people who care about you. Yet, when negativity takes over, we forget these simple gifts. Practicing gratitude is like wearing a new pair of glasses that allows you to see life differently. Suddenly, you notice the little things, the smile of a stranger, the beauty of nature, or even the progress you've made that you once overlooked. Here's a simple exercise. Every morning or night, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. In fact, the smaller they are, the more powerful this practice becomes. For example, I'm grateful for the warm sunshine today. I'm grateful for the supportive text from my friend. I'm grateful for having a peaceful moment to myself. When you write them down, you train your brain to look for positivity. Over time, your mind naturally becomes more solution-oriented and less focused on negativity. Another powerful way to build gratitude is by expressing it to others. Tell your family, friends, or colleagues how much you appreciate them. A simple thank you can not only uplift their mood but also strengthen your own sense of positivity. Gratitude is like a ripple. It spreads from you to others and circles back with even more positive energy. Some people think gratitude means ignoring problems, but that's not true. Gratitude doesn't erase challenges. It gives you strength to face them with a healthier mindset. When you focus on what's good, you feel calmer, more hopeful, and more motivated to improve the areas of life that need change. Science even backs this up. Studies have shown that gratitude reduces stress, improves sleep, and boosts overall happiness. It literally rewires your brain to be more positive. That means the more you practice it, the weaker your negative thinking becomes. So, if you want to break free from negativity, start building a gratitude habit. Write it down, speak it out, or simply take a quiet moment each day to appreciate what you have. Gratitude turns what you have into enough, and once your heart feels full, negative thoughts lose their power. Point 5. Focus on solutions, not problems. A major reason negative thinking takes control of our lives is because we tend to fixate on problems instead of looking for solutions. Think about it. When something goes wrong, our first reaction is often to complain, blame ourselves, or imagine the worst possible outcome. This habit doesn't just waste energy, it magnifies negativity. The more you stare at the problem, the bigger it appears. But when you train your mind to focus on solutions, you redirect your energy toward progress instead of worry. Let's say you failed an exam, lost a job, or faced rejection in some way. A negative mindset would keep repeating, "I'm a failure. Nothing ever works out for me. I'll never succeed." But this mindset doesn't solve anything. It just keeps you stuck. A solution-focused mindset, on the other hand, asks, what can I do differently next time? What skills can I improve? What opportunities can I create from this setback? The problem is the same, but the perspective changes everything. Instead of drowning in negativity, you rise above it with action. Focusing on solutions doesn't mean ignoring difficulties or pretending life is perfect. It means refusing to give negativity the final word. Problems will always exist. That's a part of life. But each problem carries a hidden lesson or opportunity. When you shift your attention to solutions, You empower yourself to grow stronger through challenges rather than weaker. One helpful trick is to turn every complaint into a question. For example, instead of saying, "I hate my job," ask, "What steps can I take to improve my situation or move toward a career I love?" Instead of, "I can't do this," try, "What can I learn that will help me do this better?" By asking questions, you open the door to possibilities that negativity would normally keep locked. Another way to build this habit is by breaking problems into small, manageable steps. Negativity often comes from feeling overwhelmed, like the challenge is too big to handle. But when you take one step at a time, you start to see progress, and progress builds positivity. Even small actions like making a plan, asking for advice, or practicing a new skill can shift your focus away from the problem and toward the solution. Remember, your mind is like a flashlight. Wherever you point it, that's what becomes brighter. If you keep pointing it at problems, negativity will grow. But if you point it at solutions, hope and motivation will shine through. So the next time negativity tries to trap you in a loop of worry, pause and ask yourself, "What's one thing I can do right now to make this situation better?" That single question has the power to silence negative thoughts and replace them with action. Over time, this habit will train your brain to think forward instead of backward, solutions instead of problems. Point 6. Practice mindfulness and stay present. One of the strongest tools to kill negative thinking is mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in the moment. Negative thoughts often thrive when our minds are stuck in the past or worrying about the future. We replay mistakes, regret decisions, or imagine worst-case scenarios. This constant mental chatter fuels fear, stress, and self-doubt. Mindfulness helps you break that cycle by bringing your focus back to the present, where you have real control and clarity. Think of your mind like a river. When you allow it to drift into regrets about the past or worries about the future, the water becomes turbulent and murky. Mindfulness acts like a filter, calming the current and letting the water clear. By observing your thoughts without judgment, you create distance between yourself and the negativity. You begin to realize that thoughts are not facts. They are temporary mental events that pass by, just like clouds in the sky. A simple mindfulness technique is to pay attention to your breath. Take a few deep breaths, noticing the rise and fall of your chest. Focus on the sensations of each inhale and exhale. When negative thoughts appear, acknowledge them briefly, then gently return your focus to your breath. This practice trains your brain to let go of unnecessary worry and center itself in the present moment. Another effective method is to engage fully in whatever task you are doing. Whether you are washing dishes, walking, cooking, or working on a project, immerse yourself completely in the activity. Notice the sounds, smells, and sensations. When your attention is anchored in the present, there is no room for negative thinking to dominate. Mindfulness also helps you observe your thoughts objectively. Instead of saying, "I am a failure," you notice, "I am having the thought that I am a failure." This subtle shift gives you control. You stop identifying with the negativity and start seeing it as something external, something you can choose to release. Practicing mindfulness daily doesn't require hours of meditation. Even short, regular moments of awareness, pausing to notice your surroundings, taking a mindful breath, or reflecting quietly for a few minutes, can make a huge difference. Over time, your brain starts to automatically filter out negative thinking and focus on what truly matters in the present. Remember, life only happens in the present. By staying present, you free yourself from the chains of past regrets and future anxieties. Negative thinking loses its grip when you fully embrace the now. Mindfulness strengthens your mental resilience, calmness, and clarity, giving you the power to respond to challenges with positivity instead of fear. So start today. Pause, breathe, and notice the moment. Train your mind to live in the present, and watch how negativity begins to fade away, leaving room for peace, focus, and happiness. Point 7. Limit exposure to negative media. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with information, from social media feeds to news channels, from advertisements to online debates. While staying informed is important, excessive exposure to negative media can fuel negative thinking without us even realizing it. Constantly reading about disasters, conflicts, or other people's failures keeps our minds trapped in fear, anxiety, and pessimism. If you want to kill negative thinking, controlling what enters your mind is just as important as managing your own thoughts. Imagine your mind as a garden. If you continuously plant seeds of fear, anger, or doubt, that's exactly what will grow. On the other hand, if you choose positive, uplifting, and educational content, your mental garden flourishes with hope, confidence, and inspiration. Limiting negative media is not about ignoring reality or becoming oblivious. It's about protecting your energy and choosing what nourishes your mind rather than depletes it. Start by noticing what kind of media you consume daily. Ask yourself, does this information inspire me, teach me, or motivate me to grow? Or does it leave me feeling anxious, frustrated, or discouraged? Be honest with yourself. Unfollow accounts, mute pages, or step away from news sources that create unnecessary stress. Instead, follow people who share positive messages, helpful knowledge, and practical solutions. Read books, listen to podcasts, or watch videos that encourage personal growth and self-improvement. Another useful approach is setting boundaries for screen time. Spending hours scrolling through social media often leads to comparison and envy, both of which feed negative thinking. Set specific limits on your daily screen time and create designated periods for consuming content that uplifts rather than drains you. Even small changes like starting your day with a motivational video instead of negative headlines can shift your mindset dramatically. You can also practice mindful consumption. While engaging with media, ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Is it true? Will it improve my life? If the answer is no, don't allow it to linger in your mind. Instead, consciously switch to something that brings clarity, joy, or inspiration. Limiting negative media is not a one-time task. It's a habit you cultivate. The more intentional you are about what you allow into your mind, the more resilient you become against negativity. Over time, your thoughts naturally become more positive, your focus sharper, and your emotional state calmer. Remember, you cannot always control external events, but you can control what you let into your mental space. By choosing your media wisely, you create a protective shield around your mind. Negative thinking loses its influence when you guard the information you consume and focus on content that builds you up instead of breaking you down. Start today. Take control of your media environment and notice how your thoughts begin to shift from fear, doubt, and worry to hope, confidence, and positivity. Point 8. Take care of your body and energy. Your body and mind are deeply connected. When your body feels weak, tired, or unhealthy, it becomes much easier for negative thoughts to take over. On the other hand, when you take care of your physical health, your mind naturally becomes sharper, calmer, and more positive. That's why one of the most effective ways to kill negative thinking is to focus on your body and energy levels. Start with basic habits like sleep, nutrition, and exercise. Lack of sleep clouds your judgment, increases irritability, and fuels pessimistic thinking. Eating poorly or skipping meals can create energy crashes, making you feel sluggish and emotionally fragile. Exercise, even something as simple as walking or stretching, releases endorphins, natural chemicals that boost your mood and reduce stress. When your body feels strong, your mind feels stronger too. Hydration is another often overlooked factor. Even mild dehydration can make you feel fatigued, anxious, or unfocused. Drinking enough water throughout the day helps your brain function better and keeps your thoughts clearer. Taking care of your physical needs isn't indulgence. It's essential for mental clarity and positivity. Energy management goes beyond the physical. Pay attention to what drains you emotionally or mentally. Are you spending too much time on stressful tasks, toxic people, or unnecessary worry? Set boundaries and prioritize activities that energize you, things that make you feel alive, inspired, and motivated. When you protect your energy, negative thinking has fewer opportunities to take root. Breathing exercises and short mindfulness breaks can also recharge your energy. A few minutes of deep, conscious breathing can calm your nervous system and reset your mind, making it easier to resist negative thoughts. Even short walks outside or moments of quiet reflection can restore mental clarity and positivity. Think of your mind like a battery. If your body is neglected, your mental battery runs low, and negative thoughts can take over. By nourishing your body and managing your energy, you keep your battery charged, giving you the strength to handle challenges and maintain a positive outlook. Remember, killing negative thinking is not just a mental effort, it's a holistic practice. A healthy body supports a healthy mind. When you prioritize sleep, nutrition, exercise, and emotional energy, your resilience against negativity grows. Your thoughts become more focused, your moods more stable, and your confidence stronger. So start paying attention to your body today. Move, eat, sleep, and breathe in ways that support your energy and vitality. As your physical strength rises, your mental strength follows, leaving negative thinking with less power to control your life. Point 9. Practice self-compassion. Negative thinking often grows from harsh self-judgment. We criticize ourselves for mistakes, compare ourselves to others, or dwell on perceived failures. This inner harshness fuels a cycle of negativity that is difficult to break. That's why practicing self-compassion is a powerful step toward killing negative thinking. Self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a close friend. It's about acknowledging your struggles without judgment and giving yourself permission to be human. Tattoo. When a negative thought arises, such as, "I messed up again, I'm useless," instead of accepting it, pause and respond with compassion. "I made a mistake, but I'm learning. I'm still valuable and capable. This simple shift softens the harshness in your mind and reduces the emotional weight of negativity. It's not about ignoring mistakes. It's about recognizing that mistakes are part of growth. Self-compassion also helps break the perfectionism trap. Many negative thoughts are rooted in unrealistic expectations we place on ourselves. We feel we must succeed at everything or never fail. This mindset is exhausting and fuels self-criticism. By practicing self-compassion, you acknowledge that imperfection is natural, and setbacks do not define your worth. A practical way to build self-compassion is through daily affirmations or gentle self-talk. Each time you notice a negative thought, replace it with a kind and supportive statement. I'm doing my best, and that's enough. Or, I am learning and growing every day. Over time, your mind begins to internalize these positive messages, making it easier to resist negativity. Another helpful practice is reflection. At the end of each day, think about moments where you were too hard on yourself. Then reframe them with compassion. I could have handled that better, but I did my best with what I knew at the time. This habit trains your mind to approach challenges with understanding rather than criticism. Remember, your relationship with yourself sets the tone for everything else in your life. When you treat yourself with compassion, you create a supportive inner environment that leaves little room for negative thinking to thrive. The mind responds to the energy you give it. If you are harsh and critical, negativity grows. If you are kind and understanding, positivity flourishes. So today, start treating yourself like your own best friend. Speak kindly to yourself. Forgive mistakes and acknowledge your efforts. Self-compassion is not weakness. It is strength. It allows you to rise above negativity, build resilience, and create a mindset that supports growth, confidence, and happiness. Point 10. Set realistic goals and take small steps. Negative thinking often gains strength when we feel overwhelmed by the challenges we face. We look at big tasks or life changes and think, I can't do this, or it's impossible. When we set unrealistic expectations for ourselves, we set the stage for disappointment, self-criticism, and more negativity. That's why setting realistic goals and breaking them into small, manageable steps is a powerful way to kill negative thinking. Start by identifying what you truly want to achieve, whether it's personal growth, career success, health improvements, or learning a new skill. Then, instead of focusing only on the end result, break it down into smaller milestones. Each small step you accomplish builds confidence and reinforces positive thinking. For example, if your goal is to write a book, begin by writing just 1 page a day. Completing that small task gives a sense of achievement and motivates you to continue. Small steps also help reduce the fear of failure. Often, negative thoughts arise when we imagine failing in a big way. But when you focus on one manageable action at a time, the task feels less intimidating, and your mind is less likely to spiral into negativity. Over time, small achievements accumulate, creating a powerful momentum that pushes negative thoughts away. Another benefit of realistic goals is that they teach patience and persistence. Life rarely moves in a straight line. Challenges and setbacks are part of the journey. By setting achievable steps, you allow yourself room to adjust and learn along the way. This mindset reduces self-criticism and keeps negative thinking from taking hold when things don't go perfectly. Celebrate every small victory, no matter how minor it may seem. Each step forward proves to your mind that progress is possible even in difficult circumstances. By focusing on what you can do today, rather than worrying about everything at once, you train your brain to think positively and stay motivated. Remember, killing negative thinking isn't about forcing yourself to think perfectly or avoiding challenges. It's about creating a realistic roadmap that guides your actions, builds confidence, and strengthens your mental resilience. Small steps create steady progress, and steady progress weakens negativity. So, set your goals thoughtfully. Take action in manageable steps, and acknowledge every achievement along the way. By doing this, you empower yourself to move forward with confidence, reduce anxiety, and replace negative thinking with a mindset of possibility and growth. Point 11. Engage in positive self-talk. The words you speak to yourself inside your mind have immense power. Negative thinking often comes from harsh, critical, or discouraging self-talk that slowly shapes how you feel, act, and perceive your life. When your inner dialogue constantly says, "I can't do this," "I'm not good enough," or "everything always goes wrong for me," your brain begins to accept these statements as truth. To kill negative thinking, you must intentionally replace these harmful messages with positive self-talk that uplifts, motivates, and strengthens your mindset. Positive self-talk doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect or ignoring reality. It's about speaking to yourself with encouragement, clarity, and optimism while staying grounded. For example, if you make a mistake, instead of saying, "I'm terrible at this," you can say, "I made a mistake, but I am learning and improving." This subtle shift changes your mental focus from failure to growth, and over time, it rewires your brain to respond to challenges with resilience rather than negativity. One practical method to build positive self-talk is to create a list of affirmations tailored to your life. These could be statements like, "I am capable of handling challenges," "I am worthy of success and happiness," or "Every day I am becoming stronger and more confident." Repeat these affirmations daily, especially in moments of self-doubt. Your brain starts to recognize these statements as true, gradually replacing old negative patterns. Another technique is to monitor your inner conversations throughout the day. When a negative thought arises, pause and reframe it. Ask yourself, "What would I say to a friend in this situation?" Chances are you would respond with compassion and encouragement. Now, apply that same approach to yourself. This not only reduces negative thinking, but also builds self-respect and confidence. Positive self-talk also prepares you to face challenges with a calm and proactive mindset. Instead of being paralyzed by fear or doubt, you approach problems with solutions in mind. This habit strengthens mental resilience, helping you navigate life's ups and downs with optimism rather than despair. Remember, your mind listens to what you consistently tell it. By choosing words that empower instead of weaken, you can slowly dismantle negative thinking and replace it with a mindset that supports growth, positivity, and happiness. So, start today. Pay attention to the words you say to yourself. Challenge the negative ones and replace them with statements that inspire and encourage. Positive self-talk is a daily practice that, over time, transforms your mind into a powerful ally against negativity. Point 12. Take action and keep moving forward. The final and perhaps most powerful step to killing negative thinking is action. Thoughts alone, no matter how positive, are not enough to overcome negativity. Negative thinking gains strength when we stay passive, overanalyzing, or endlessly worrying without doing anything. Action creates momentum, builds confidence, and proves to your mind that you are capable of progress, no matter the obstacles. When you move forward, even in small ways, negative thoughts lose their grip. Think about it. When you take steps toward a goal, you shift your focus from fear and doubt to possibility and accomplishment. Each action, no matter how minor, sends a clear message to your brain. I am capable. I am moving forward. This momentum becomes a natural antidote to negative thinking. Even if the outcome isn't perfect, the act of trying strengthens your mindset and reduces the power of fear-based thoughts. Start by breaking tasks into small, achievable steps. If you've been avoiding a project, responsibility, or personal goal because of fear, take just one step today. It could be writing a plan, making a phone call, or researching information. The important thing is to start moving forward. Action turns abstract worries into concrete progress, which naturally replaces negative thoughts with confidence. Another important aspect is consistency. Negative thinking often returns if action is inconsistent or sporadic. By committing to regular progress, you teach your mind that setbacks do not define you. Instead of dwelling on mistakes, you focus on solutions and learning. Action transforms challenges into lessons, and lessons build resilience and positivity. Additionally, celebrating small victories is key. Each time you complete a step, acknowledge it. Recognize your effort, not just the result. Positive reinforcement strengthens your belief in yourself and reduces the tendency to spiral into negative thinking. The more you celebrate progress, the more motivated you become to continue moving forward. Remember, life is about forward motion. Negative thoughts thrive in inaction, in rumination, and in fear. Action creates clarity, focus, and energy. Even when the path is uncertain, moving forward teaches your mind that you have control over your life. It builds courage, self-confidence, and optimism, qualities that naturally crowd out negativity. So, take control today. Move, act, and keep going, even if the steps are small. Each action you take reinforces a positive mindset, diminishes negative thinking, and brings you closer to the life you want. Progress, not perfection, is what kills negativity. In the journey to kill negative thinking, action is the bridge between thought and reality. The more you act, the stronger your positive mindset becomes. Keep moving forward and watch how your mental landscape transforms into one of hope, confidence, and endless possibilities. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more motivational content. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Share this video with friends or family who might need a boost in positivity and want to kill negative thinking from their lives. Remember, your mind is your greatest power, and with the right habits, you can transform every thought into motivation. Stay consistent, stay positive, and keep growing every single day.